Good morning, friends. How in the world are you? You guys, I am so happy to be back on here with you guys. It seems like it has been forever. Sorry for the way I sound. We still have the sinus stuff. If you guys know of a miraculous way to get rid of this stuff, let me know, because I'm on like day 12. I can't seem to get rid of it. I have tried Mucinex D. I have taken the Sinex nose spray. We have used the neti pot. We've tried everything, and I don't really feel bad. It's just this congestion. So anyway, we are going to get started. Welcome to Mountain Made Creations. I'm Jill, and today we're going to be making some polymer clay earrings. Something different. I've been stuck on the resin for a while, which I'm obsessed with. I love it, but I wanted to do something different. And I wanted to make some heart and star earrings like for Valentine's Day. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and try to share this over on my private page or group, which is Jill's Creative Side. If you want to be a part of that, I would love to have you join. So let me see if I can get this shared over there real quick. I always like to try and let my private group know what's going on, because I do all my lives in this group. So anyway, if you're on, let me know you're on. Let me know where you're from. Hopefully I can see comments. I have no idea what's going on with that, but we're going to try to get on with it. So what we're going to be using today is I'm going to be using this pasta machine or pasta maker. This was just a cheapie that I bought from Amazon. And we're going to be using this to condition the clay, because you need to condition the clay to get all the air bubbles out, to make it as smooth as possible. You can use an acrylic roller to condition your clay. It just takes a little bit longer. And this does the thickness of the clay uniform. Sometimes with this you can get uneven thicknesses. So that's what we're going for today. Also, let me get my other box. I don't know if you guys are familiar with polymer clay, but once you get it made, you bake it in the oven. And one thing that I learned from other YouTube videos is that you need to have an oven thermometer in your oven, because they say that a lot of the ovens don't preheat. Like when your oven says it's preheated to whatever temperature, a lot of times it's not to that temperature yet. And it's very, very important to keep your oven at that temperature while you're baking the clay so it comes out right. My oven actually preheated. It said as it was preheated to that temperature. It really wasn't, because I had that thermometer in there. So that was a good, they're cheap. You can get them at Walmart. I just hang it in there. I leave it in there. But you bake this, I'm using Sculpey clay. You bake it for 30 minutes on 275 degrees. So also I'm using a picture frame glass to make the shapes, because you want it to be on something that doesn't stick to it, because you don't want to. Good morning, Cindy. How are you? Good morning, Marcy. You don't want it to stick to whatever you're making it on, because you can mess your shape up when you're trying to get it off of that surface. So I'm going to make it on this, and then I'm going to put it on a piece of parchment paper on this. It's just a piece of cardboard, just until I get ready to bake it. And I'll put it on a cookie sheet. And a lot of times, just like with resin, there's air bubbles, which is, it's like the worst. And you can get those with the clay also. So sometimes when I bake it, I put a piece of tile on top of the clay, and I put parchment paper on top, of course, so the tile don't stick to it, and then bake it like that. Sometimes that pressure gets the air out of it. Let's see what else. You'll need a tissue blade, and let me just warn you, these are very, very sharp. So be careful when you're using these. I have found out the hard way that they're very sharp. I got these at Amazon. Most of the tools that I'm using, I bought this kit from Amazon. There is a kit that you can get, and I've looked at it. I haven't purchased it yet, but there is a kit. I saw there's a Facebook page called Raising Nobles. That's where I learned mostly about the clay. And believe me, I'm still learning a ton of it. And she posted something about a bundle that was available on a page called, I believe it's Maverly Designs. And the bundle has clay, it has these things, it has cutters, it has all kinds of things on there in that bundle, which is really good. And I'm thinking about getting it, but I just haven't done it yet. Hopefully they're going to keep it for a while. Hope it doesn't sell out. But sorry, I'm having coffee with you guys. I just want to not get choked up while I'm doing this live. I don't know how to get rid of this sinus stuff. It's about to drive me crazy, and I really don't feel bad. It's just irritating. I mean, like, you blow your nose 500 times a day. Anyway. Also, if you're watching on Facebook, let me know where you're watching from. If you are catching it on a replay, hashtag replay, so it bumps the video up, and sprinkle, sprinkle. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. It helps me grow. So I have all kinds of things to show you guys today. Now, I have a box that I keep clay in. This has a lot of my scraps in here. I just toss them in here because you can go back and reuse them. If you know, these are just leftover pieces. You could go back and make something out of this. But today, I'm trying to figure, I know I'm going to be using this pink, but I use the Sculpey Primo. I have some of the Fimo clay that I bought on sale. I haven't ever used this yet. And then I have the Primo and the Souffle. The Souffle is better for like your designs. It's more soft. Roanoke, Texas. That's awesome, Cindy. We have a Roanoke, Virginia, which is about 20 miles down the road. I'm on Bent Mountain, Virginia, but Roanoke, Virginia is just right down the road. So that's pretty cool. You're in Roanoke, Texas. That's awesome. It's so warm here today. Considering what it was last week, it's crazy. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me mount my little pasta machine to the table so it doesn't fall off. These things are awesome, but I do have an issue with this one making marks on the clay, and I really don't know how to stop that. I've cleaned it. I've done everything, and I don't really understand what's making it do that, but it puts these marks. I'll show you. In the world. I'm just trying to mount it to the table so it doesn't move when I'm using it. What have you guys been up to? Did y'all have a good Christmas and New Year's? We had a very low key. We had my family up on Christmas Eve, and Wayne's family came up on Christmas Day. That was a lot of fun. And I don't know what's going on with this thing. Maybe that's it. Anyway, it was low key. We usually don't do much for New Year's. We stay in. We don't normally go out. I don't know what in the world. So we stayed in. We watched the Georgia Bulldogs football game, which was exciting because I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. So yeah, that's what we did. Good grief. All right, I think I'm gonna go with it just like it is. And then you put the handle in, and it has a dial on it for the thickness. And I'm not even sure where I left that at. Also, you don't want to have lotion on your hands because you can get stuff on the clay. So I'm going to take my rings off and wipe my hands off with a baby wipe just to make sure that I don't have any kind of lotion on there. When you're doing different colors, you want to be sure that you don't, if you don't want to transfer that color onto another color, you want to make sure you wipe your hands off in between too. So just some tips that I've learned from doing this. So anywho, I think we're going to start with some pink and maybe this color. I think that would be kind of pretty as a design. So this is, and I probably can't even read it without my glasses. Let's see what colors we have. And you can get this clay at Michael's. You can get it at Hobby Lobby. Okay, this is called Mint Green. And this is fuchsia. So that's what colors we're going to use. I also have some blue I like, and I really like this color also. Now, I have these little cutters that I purchased at, I think, Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I'm not sure. It's just a heart, and I have 3 different sizes of the hearts. And then we have 3 different sizes of the stars. Now, you can get these Hobby Lobby, Michael's. You can use cookie cutters. I mean, I bought cookie cutters on sale. These are like a little bit large for earrings, but you could use them for other things and different things. You can use molds. You can push the clay into the molds. I've done that. That's really fun. So let's get started on conditioning this clay. And I'm going to use the pink as the base, and then I'm going to use this as like for the designs. I love working with the clay. It is just one of the things I really like. So I'm using this. Hello, Nicole. How are you? So I'm just using the blade, and you can use the blade to scrape it up off of the surface. You can also use it to cut your clay. So that's what I'm doing with that. And so before you put it in your pasta machine, you want to, you know, warm it up and get it a little bit flat. You don't want to stick it in here with a chunk like this, because it's not gonna work. And these little tools that I have here is probably what I'll use to make the hole for the earrings. You can use it, you can do that with a drill after they get hardened, or, you know, it's your preference how you want to do it. I usually try to do the hole before, just because I don't want to mess it up with the drill. But you can definitely use a drill to put the hole in there. So I'm just gonna warming the clay up, and then I'm gonna go over it with this roller and just get it a little bit flatter to go in the pasta machine. It is, I don't know, there's all kinds of designs and things you can do with the clay, and I really like the clay look. It's really fun. I also did some experimenting with resin, and I made these little tree earrings, but one of them had an air bubble at the top where the hole is, so I couldn't use them, but I thought they turned out kind of cute. And then I did some experimenting with gold leaf and white. Just a little experimenting I was doing. All right, so I'm gonna take my roller, and I'm just gonna kind of roll it out and get it to where I can get it in the pasta machine. And my glass wants to roll around. So let me put something under it so it's not sliding around. And you can use anything flat that the clay won't stick to as your surface. It's still sliding a little bit. All right. So I'm just kind of rolling it around, making it a little bit flat. And when you use this clay in the pasta machine, you want to, when you fold it, well, I'll show you when I do it. I'm going to put it in here now because I'm not sure what setting I have it on. Of course, it's not going to stay. I don't know why it's not staying to the table, but anyway. All right, so it was pretty thin, so I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. And like I was talking about the marks, this side's not too bad, but this side, I don't know if you can see those marks that the machine's putting on there. It drives me crazy. I don't know why it's doing that. It's really making me nuts. Of why, I don't understand why it does that. Hopefully I can get this to stay on the table. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the setting on this to not as thin. I'm not even sure what, okay. So I'm gonna take this and fold it. And so when you run this through the pasta machine, you always either want to fold it in on the bottom or on the side, because that way it lets the air out. You don't ever want to put it in like this, because then the air can't come out, and that is air bubbles, and we don't like air bubbles. Okay, so that is a little bit thicker, and that's what I like. So I don't know if you can see the little lines. It's not too bad. It was putting some really bad marks on there earlier, but it seems to be doing better. So I'm just going to fold it over and put it in like this. And I'm just going to keep doing this until the clay is pretty good and conditioned, where it's like where you can't see any air bubbles or anything. And usually it's a few times. You have to do this a few times to get it conditioned, which if you were using the roller, it would take a lot longer, but it still does work. And so what I'm doing is I'm just folding it over and running it back through. That's all I'm doing. And I'm just folding it and running it through. And I'm either putting the fold on the side or on the bottom. So we're going to fold this, put it through again. And I'm just going to keep doing that, folding it over and putting it in until I have it where I'd, like it to be, the consistency, the shine. Trying to look for any bubbles. And this is just one little slice of the block that you get. I just cut it on that line. And because, but we can use more or less. It just depends on what you're making. And so I'm just going to keep going through a few more times, and then we'll get going with it. I hope you guys are having a good day. We are off work today. That's why I was able to come live with you guys on a Monday during the morning hours. So I was excited about that. Everything's kind of calmed down. We took the Christmas tree down last weekend, so that was out of the way and done. So Christmas is officially over at my house. I just kind of wanted to get back into the normal swing of things. Okay, so see how that's looking? It's looking really good. I'm going to go through a couple more times. And I'm just folding it over every time I do it and running it through. I hope that you guys can see okay. This is just one of those, one of these things I love to make. And I haven't had the clay out in quite a while, so it's been a long time coming for the clay. I love working with the clay. I think it's a lot of fun. I think we're about ready. On this one, it looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, and you see how it's kind of like pliable and shiny, and it looks good. I don't see any bubbles, even though I'm sure there's bubbles in there because I just can't do anything without them. So I'm going to set this to the side, and I'm going to wipe up any kind of color residue I got on here so I don't transfer onto the green. So now I'm just going to cut a block of the green. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to condition it, but this is going to be used as a decoration or like a design on the top of the pink. So I'm just cutting a little square, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to warm it up, and then I'm going to go through the pasta machine a few times, and then I'm going to show you how to put it onto the pink. And you can also use, like if you get your fingerprints on the clay, you can use a Q-tip and some alcohol to get that up, but you don't want to keep doing it real hard because it will eventually show up in your clay and you don't want to mess it up. So it's just a fun, I don't know, I just love working with the clay. like I said, I haven't been doing much with it. It's been a while since I've actually used the clay. All right, so I've just got this warmed up a little bit, so I'm gonna kind of go over it with the with the acrylic roller. And get it to where it can fit in there in the pasta machine without being too thick. So I just have this, and I'm gonna run it through a few times. And the setting, they have settings like 1 through 6 on here. I have it on a 2 because I like that thickness. I don't like it too thin. But this is the longest part. And see, it's getting like clay will stick to it, and it will come out on your piece when you're running it through. So I have to keep it clean. I don't know what it is about this machine, if it's just a cheap one, or I don't know. But it is what it is. It does work, so we're going to keep going with it. And just keep conditioning it until I have it about the consistency and the shine and all that, and I don't see bubbles. I don't really have to worry about bubbles as much on this piece because this is going to be the piece that I'm decorating. So here is the piece, and then we're going to go ahead and put some chunks on there. So I'm just going to cut the edge off, make it a clean edge, and then use the little pieces inside, make it a clean edges. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this, let me move this over here. Let me clean that. And it's also not a bad idea to clean your roller if you're using that, because you can transfer the colors. And if you're doing a certain design, you don't really want the colors mixed. You can also make your own colors. If you have 2 colors and you want to make a different color that you don't have, you can also mix the colors. That's kind of cool to play around with. And I know I think it's called Raising Nobles. She makes a lot of colors, and she sells the recipe for the certain colors. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tear a little piece like that, and I'm just gonna stick it on here. And I'm just going to go around and tear little pieces. They don't need to be a certain shape, just tearing it and putting it on here. I don't want them real big, but I'm just tearing them off and putting them on. Those might be a little bit too big. So that's all I'm doing, is just tearing pieces and going through and putting them around to make a design. I really like this mint green on the fuchsia. That's really pretty. And so that's all I'm doing, is just going around, putting pieces all throughout the on the fuchsia. And that's basically all you do. It's so fun to make all these different little designs and unique pieces. I don't know, I love clay jewelry. It's just a lot of fun. Now, I don't know if all of you are following me or not. You know that if you've been following me for a little while, I started an online boutique, Mountain Breeze Boutique. Well, it pretty much got shut down as fast as it got started. I was doing the dropship boutique, and the company that I was using stopped their dropship program. And so I closed the boutique because I couldn't, it's not doable for me to start out with inventory. I don't really have the place for it. and I have a full-time job, so it wasn't something practical. So that boutique is closed now. I still have my page up. And I know that a lot of you know I used to sell jewelry, and I loved the company, but I quit doing that because of the boutique got started. I just didn't have time to do them all. So I have since joined another jewelry company that is quite amazing. And if you would like to come to my launch party, which is going to be, I think, on January 10th, let me know and I can get you a link. It's just going to be a messenger party. Their jewelry is very good quality. It's different from the company I was using as far as the quality. I think the quality is better. I love the other company I sold with. I still buy their jewelry, but this company, the programs they have for their customers, stylists, and hostesses is amazing. Like if you host a party, you don't have a certain dollar amount you have to sell. It's based on how many orders you get. It's really unlike anything I've ever seen before. So if you'd like to know more about that, let me know. This necklace is actually one of theirs. So I love jewelry. I love showing it, and I'm not really doing it for the money. I mean, of course, everything we do for the money, but that's not my focus, is the money. It's just I love the jewelry. I love to share it. It's fun for me, so that's why I'm doing it. Not necessarily the money, if that makes any sense. Okay, so here's what we have so far. I'm going to go ahead and try to lift this up and show you what we have. So there's what we have so far. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over it with the roller. And I think I'm going to use, no, I'm not going to use parchment paper. I'm just going to go over it. And if y'all hear birds, that's my guineas outside. I cracked the window a little bit down here so I could keep an eye on them. You know, we have hawks and things that will get the guineas, so if I can hear them, I know they're good, and I hear them out there. They're so sweet. Oh my goodness. So I'm just lightly going over this. I'm not really putting any pressure down. I just want the shapes to be in the clay and not come up. And so that's all I'm doing, is just rolling over it. I'm not putting any pressure on it. And so what I'm going to do is, once I get it to the right, where I know it's in there pretty good, then we'll cut the shapes. And that's it. I mean, it's that easy, y'all. It takes a long time to condition it. And then, depending on what design you're wanting to do, it takes a little bit for that. So I'm going to leave it at this. So this is what I have so far. And it's not sticking up. I don't know if y'all can see. It's not really sticking up any. It's in the clay pretty good, and once we bake it, then it's done. So we're going to do hearts with this one. I'm going to do some little hearts. These I will most likely do like little studs. And the way I've been doing my studs is when I get the resin back out, I have a bunch of pieces that I did with resin that need the backing put on it, and I found the best way to do that is with resin. So what I do, these are just little resin pieces that I have in here. What I'm going to do the next time I do a batch of resin, I will take the resin and put it on the back, and then, or on the earring part, and apply it to the earring. And once that resin hardens, that backing is not going to come off, because a lot of my jewelry I sell, and I don't want someone buying a pair of earrings and the back fall off. So I know that I've used the 6000 glue, and that doesn't really hold it very well, but the resin is done. It is not going to come off. So, all right, so what I'm going to do is it has two sides to it. I don't know if you can tell, but this is the side it's going to be at the top, and this is like the more precise cut. So I'm just going to place the heart over where I want to have my design, and I'm just going to push down and then pull it up. And then I'm going to do another one. And I like to do these where I can get as many earrings as possible out of the piece that I've made. So I get it as close as I can to the other one. That way we don't waste anything. And I do the same thing, and I push it down. So there's that. Let's see. I don't really think I want to do well, I have this size. These would be dangles. So I think I'm going to do the both big pieces of the heart. And that looks good. So I just push it down. And then I'll do another one. Hopefully I can fit it where I like the designs to be. And the good thing about the clay is, like with the resin and the molds you use, you can't reuse that mold right then. You have to wait for that to harden and all that. This, you can just keep reusing your cutters, which is what I love. All right, so there's that one. And then I'm going to do a couple little ones. And I think that's about all the room I'm going to have for these. So there we have the hearts. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the outside of the clay, and it's going to leave the hearts down there on the glass. And I will pick those up with the tissue blade. Another thing you want to be careful of is if the clay gets too warm while you're working with it, it can get very flexible and it can also distort the shape. So just remember that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these up. I'm just going to run that tissue blade under it and try not to distort the shape any. So there's the two little hearts, and I'm going to put them on the piece of, actually, you know what? I didn't cut the, well, these I don't need the holes in. And you just want to be careful when you're handling them so that you don't distort them. So I'm going to take this little piece and I'm going to put the hole in these earrings. And I'm going to do these on the side so that the heart is kind of hanging from the side, if that makes any sense at all. And it might be easier for you to drill it, and that's fine too. And I think I got those done pretty good. So I'm going to lightly lift these up, and I don't want to stretch it or distort it. So here's the bigger heart, and I've put the little hole in here, and you can go back over it with a drill if you want to, if it's not like you want it. All right, so let's get this one up. And if you see any pieces along the edge, you can kind of go over them with your finger. But if you don't, you can go over them afterwards with like a little nail file and file the rough edges off. I try to do it before baking, but it doesn't always work. So there's this one. And then we have these, and I'm going to have to put my glasses on to see. And I'm going to do this one to the side like I did the other one. Okay. So I'm just lightly picking these up because I don't want to distort them if they stick any, which those were starting to stick. So there's these. Okay. Now, what you can do, if you just want to use up some scraps, you can put these together like this. And I'm just going to ball these up and see what we get with this. So we have this, and I'm just going to get it kind of together like the other one, and then I'm going to go over it with the roller. And I didn't wipe the glass because it doesn't really matter about mixing the colors because we're going to mix it anyways. So it's kind of going to be like a marble effect once we go through the pasta machine, hopefully. And then the more times you run it through the machine, the more solid color you're going to get. So if you don't want to have all, like if you don't want it to be, if you want it like this, you wouldn't want to keep running it through, because you can make all the colors actually form into one, which is fine with this. I'm just showing you guys what you can do with the leftovers if you want. It's just something different. And see, it's starting to blend in to make a different color. And you see what that does. So I'm not going to use this. I'm going to put this in my scrap bucket over here. I might use that later. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this off. And then we're going to use a different color. Maybe the navy and the pink is pretty cute. And I want to show you, actually, I may use the white as the base. This is like a, or maybe that's gray. That would even be prettier. Let me see what color this is. This is Forest White Glitter. I think I'm going to use this as the bottom, as the base, and then do some like polka dots. And that's always a fun thing to do, is the polka dots. And I'll show you how to do that too. There's just so many different things you can come up with clay. It's really neat. I want to get some more cutters that are like the U-shaped cutters. I really like those. And so, I like coming live with you guys in the morning. That's kind of cool. It's different for me. So I'm just warming this up, and then I'm going to run it through, get it conditioned, and hopefully we don't have very many bubbles. And what I'll do, maybe I want to try to come live with you guys more during the week. I want to show you what those look like after we have baked them. And then we can decide, do we want to resin over top of them, or do we want to just leave them like they are? I'm hoping that my pasta machine doesn't have colors that's going to get on this white. That's the bad thing about white when you're running it through. So I just want to try to get all those colors off before we do this, because it'll show on that white. And sometimes it's okay, but sometimes if you're going for a specific look, you don't want those colors in your white. And I don't know if it's because my pasta machine is cheap or not. So we have this, and I'm going to run it through and just start conditioning it. So far, I don't see any other colors. So far, so good. So all I do is run it through, fold it over, and then run it through again. And I always either put the fold on the bottom or the side. And so you can see that with a small piece of clay, you can make a lot of earrings with it. We made 3 sets of earrings with that little one little block. And I see some colors starting to come through on here. And I'm trying to use that as the back, but it may not work. And basically all you do is just keep running it through until you get it the way you want it, and the consistency and all that. It's fairly easy, especially if you have a good pasta machine, pasta maker. Mine's not the greatest, apparently, but it's okay. It does the job. And so that's all I'm doing, is running it through. And I think this will be it. Yeah, I've got a little piece of color up here, but I'm going to go with the way it is right there. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to kind of roll it up, and we're going to do like, I'm going to roll it like this. To make like a little roll, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to roll it like this because I'm going to chop little pieces and make little round balls to make polka dots. So I'm just going to cut little pieces off of this like this, and then I'm just going to take it and roll it. And I'm going to use the back of my hand just because I don't want to get any colors mixed together. So there we have a little ball. And I will start putting them on there. Now, if you see that your pieces are too big, just cut them in half, because I don't want, that might be just a little bit too big. And you can also roll them on your surface. And so that's all you do. Just roll them around. And make the little ball. And then I'm going to put it down on the, and I'm not going to push down too hard because I don't want to mess it up. But I am going to lightly go over it with the acrylic roller. And it's going to look so cute. So that's basically all you do, is you just roll up little tiny pieces. Like I said, the clay goes a long ways. You can take a tiny piece and make all kinds of things. I hear the birds out there. Okay, so that's all I'm doing, is just rolling little tiny pieces, making little balls, and they're going to form circles like polka dots once we press them in. So this is all we're doing. And I have, if you guys are interested and you want to see a couple pieces of the Park Lane, I'll definitely show it to you because it's amazing. I only have a few pieces. I actually hooked up with a lady that I used to work another company with, and I bought a few pieces because I love stars, and I saw one of her posts about a star necklace, and I was like, man, I need that. And then I just kept looking at their jewelry, and then I started looking at their, you know, about the company and all that. And they've been in business for 67 years. I mean, it's crazy. And there's no quotas. There is no website fees for the first year. There is really no out-of-pocket expense except for the kit. And with their kit, I think until the 4th, their kits are usually $99, $229, and $400 and something. And with a $99 kit, you get $500 in jewelry. With the $229, you get $1,000 in jewelry. Well, they had a special, and that's what actually sold me on joining, was the kit was double your jewelry. So for $229, you got $2,000 in jewelry. I mean, it was insane. And there's no quotas. There's no stress behind it. And also, there is, if you sign up and you end up getting a team and you start out making 30% commission, which is crazy good. And then let's say you get bumped up and you're making 40% commission, and then you go for a month and you don't sell anything. That doesn't start over every month. Whatever you get promoted to, you keep that no matter what happens. That I've never seen a company do that before. The other company was a little stressful every month because you would work your butt off and then you'd just have to start all over again every single month. It was very stressful for me. So this, I don't know, it's just such a laid back thing. And I mean, if it works out, fine. If it doesn't, fine. Like I said, I'm not doing it to get rich. I just love jewelry and I love sharing it. I love making it too. So that's why I decided to go ahead and join. I know I've been into a lot of different companies, and people get burned out on seeing all of that stuff. So that's why I don't want to, you know, if you want to see it, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. All right, so I have these rolled out. Now, let me show you what I have so far. There's what we have so far. Now I'm going to take the acrylic roller and I'm just going to lightly go over it. Not a lot of pressure, but just enough to push them down, and we want to make polka dots. So I'm doing a little bit of pressure. Oh, this is fun. This looks so cute. I probably could do some more, but since I've already started pressing these, I'll go ahead and stay with these. Okay, so these are in there, and these are just like little dots. So that's what we have right now. That is so cute. So now I'm just going to take some, I think I'm going to use the big star and just push down, just like we did the other one. And this, they're not going to be exact, you know, with each other, but they'll be close. These are super cute. And then I think I'll do these since we have some left. And I want to try to get at least 2 colors in there, maybe. I don't know what that one's going to look like. So there's that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up, and it'll leave the stars on the glass. Okay, so now I'm just going to put this in my box. But there's a little tiny piece. Let's see if I can get that up. There we go. So let me show you what we have. And I'll probably put the little holes in there for the earrings. But that's what we have so far. How cute is that, y'all? Super cute. So let me get my little hole. And I'll put the little holes right at the top. These are so cute. I think I might go over here with this one. Okay, so there we have the holes in them, and then I'm going to lightly pick them up. Hopefully they don't stick and distort. Okay, perfect. So here are these stars. And I'm going to lightly pick them up, oops, and put them down. You just want to be pretty gentle when you're handling them so you don't distort them. And I'm going to go ahead and try to, this one has some rough edges, so I'm going to just smooth them out with my finger and try not to distort the shape any. And you can always do this once they are done baking, and I think that's what I'm going to do because I don't want to, oh goodness, I don't want to distort the star. And so I'm just going to pick these up, just like so. So that is the star earrings. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. So let me show you what we have. Here are the earrings that we made, just by those little tiny blocks of clay. Now I see some places here that I'm going to go over with a Q-tip because it looks like it has something on there and some alcohol, and see if I can get that straightened out. But you got to do it lightly because you don't want to make it worse. So I'm just going to go over this and try to get any of those prints off of there. I don't know if that was from my finger or what that was. But, so that's all we did. And it does take some of the color. So that's why you want to be careful. You don't want to take too much of the color off of there. So that is that, y'all. Those are the Polymer Clay earrings. How cool is that? Super easy to do. It doesn't take that long. I'll go put these in the oven for, what did I say, 30 minutes? I have it on my, for 30 minutes on 275. And then they will be ready for the hardware. So how cute is that? Let me show you guys real quick some of this jewelry, just to see if you're interested in it. Now, if you go online and you look at it, you're going to say, wow, that jewelry is too expensive, because that's exactly what I did. But they always have specials going, so you're not going to pay that price for your jewelry. Just don't order off the website without sending me like your wish list or whatever, because I can work it up to where you get the cheapest deal, because I think they have, and like I said, I just signed up, so I'm not real sure about all of it, but you can get, like, if you buy two regular priced items, then you get 4 half price, and then you can get a $200 item for $30, and then you can get a $100 item for free. And I think that deal is still going on, but I'm not sure. But they always have the buy 2 get 4 half off. And what it does, it takes your 2 cheapest items. It doesn't, what you're paying full price for is going to be the cheapest items that you have. So it's really awesome the way they work. I don't know. This company's been around for 67 years, so they know what they're doing. But let me show you these 2 necklaces real quick. But this was the one that sold me. Look at these stars. And they have this in silver and gold. How beautiful is that? And this, I love this. It's like one of my favorites. And then they also have hematite. They have rose gold. But these are just, this one is in hematite. And I absolutely love it. So it's just something that I'm trying out. If it works out, fine. If it doesn't, fine. But look how pretty this is. And I'm telling you what, the quality of these is amazing. So these are a couple pieces that I have. I'm not going to show you everything, but I will show you this ring because it was like my favorite ring now. It's the cross ring with the little stones on it. And these are so affordable, you guys. So that's all. I just wanted to show you those. I know that's not anything to do with my crafting, but if you're interested in coming to my launch party, just let me know and I'll hook you up. But anyway, so these are the earrings we made out of polymer clay. I'm going to go throw these in the oven, bake these, and then I will show them to you one day this week. And I'll definitely be posting pictures of what they turned out like. And I don't know yet if I'm going to do resin on them or just leave them like they are. Both are pretty. I've done both. So we'll see what happens. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for spending your morning with me and hanging out, and I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I did. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think, let me know if you're going to try it. If you do, definitely go to Jill's Creative Side, join that group, and post your pictures of your crafts that you've done. I'm also working on a wood round. I can't show it to you because it's actually for someone that might be watching this. So I use the Icon Art stencils. I also use Magnolia stencils. But with a 18-inch round, I can only make an Icon Art stencil 12 inches wide is the biggest I can make. So I've been looking for another alternative, and I didn't want to buy a new printer because they do sell the stencil film bigger. But I'd have to buy a new printer that prints out that size, and I don't want to do that. So I found some Mylar sheets, and I've cut a stencil on that, and you can make it as big as you want. So I'm going to try that. That's like the Mylar plastic. I don't know if it's what it is, but it's Mylar 7 mil. I cut it on my Cricut. The only bad thing is there's weeding, but I'm just not going to use that option for real precise pieces. So I'm trying that on my project that I'm making for someone. I'll definitely show it to you when I'm finished, once they get it. But hopefully that's going to work out, because that's just another option to help me with the bigger rounds. So anyway, stay tuned for that. So you guys, I hope you have a great week. We're in a new year. I'm going to try to be present much more in this, on this page, and show you lots of more crafting and DIY ideas. I'm excited for the new year. I don't do resolutions. I really never have. So it's your choice to do them. I just don't. So anyway, I'm hoping to be more present with you guys. Thank you so much for your support, for everything, and I will be talking to you guys very soon. Y'all take care and have a great day.